All right, guys, welcome to the Pitchfork podcast for October 12th, 2021. If you guys like the stream, hit the like button, share button. Make sure you share the stream with other people. And we're going to be having a wild show for you today. I was discussing into some of the show details with my girlfriend earlier, and she literally said that she thought that I was sometimes making the stuff up until she goes to look it up. She's like, holy smokes, you never lied to me. And I tell her all the time, listen, I know this stuff sounds ridiculous. It sounds goddamn ridiculous, but it's the case. Now, I have some hot tea for me because my voice has been taking a hit. But I will still do this show live for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the show. I'm on my TikTok page, guys. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. My TikTok channel has exploded. And I am now primarily a TikToker. I thought I was going to be a YouTuber for the rest of my career. And I'm still a YouTuber at heart, because that was my first platform. That's where I first found my home. However, sometimes things change and people evolve, and so do audiences, and so does messages. And on TikTok, my message has been much more warmly received. I'm not crapping on my YouTube audience. I love you guys too. It's just that on that platform, it's not as censored, and it's not so many people trying to sink your channel. So. And on top of that, the young people are on that platform. And they are out there in full force. So let's get into the show here. We have a bunch of stories. There are various ones that I want to cover, but there's one in particular that I want to get into, because this one is precious. This one's going to make you fall out your chair if you're not securely fastened in your chair. So let's go ahead and get to the recording of this. All right, so this bad cop no donut comes from Florida, and it comes from clickorlando.com. A former deputy was arrested for driving with a suspended license. The previous two arrests were because of DUIs. Volusia County, Florida. A former Volusia County deputy was arrested for driving with a suspended driver's license on September 12th. Aaron Chavez was found alone and stuck in a ditch when a deputy approached his truck, according to an arrest affidavit. So basically, a fellow deputy, found this man stuck in a ditch and said, this is strange. Let me go see what is the matter. And so when they approached the truck, they found Aaron Chavez, who was, let's just say, he was inebriated. He was driving under the influence, like his previous DUI arrest would suggest. When the officer asked how he got stuck, Chavez pumped his accelerator trying to get out, records show. So basically, as soon as the officer approached Chavez, another deputy, he then tried to hit the accelerator. And the strange part about that is that Chavez was not shot like many black people who tried to flee crime scenes. And you can't say that, this officer didn't have a record because he had two previous arrests for DUI. So all the people out there who were saying, hey, these persons should have been shot, or that person should have been shot, where are you on this case? I'm very curious, because your silence is deafening. After a running search, the deputy said he found that Chavez's license was suspended due to previous DUI charges. How in the world are you a police officer and you have previous DUI charges and a suspended license? I have so many questions that need to be answered. Chavez was taken into custody at the Volusia County Branch Jail. Prior to his third arrest, Chavez was arrested on March 5th for driving on the wrong side of the road while under the influence. His first arrest was in March 2020 after he failed a field sobriety test. So this story shows you that police officers set one standard for you, but when it comes to officers who are clearly looking like addicts, for some reason they get a slap on the wrist. And on top of that, there are several people who were placed in very similar situations. Some stories are rather recent, and you had people justifying those people being abused by cops. So I'm very, very curious to see what those people think about this story. You know, just for consistency's sake. There's the first story done, man. That was a wild one. 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 So this next one here is pretty funny. So it comes from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Let me go ahead and have a sip of my tea. That's good tea. Let's get into the story here. So this story comes from Georgia. A Rockdale sheriff's deputy is charged with possessing drugs while on duty. Now, you had a deputy who had weed while they were on duty. Now, normally I have no issue with people consuming cannabis. However, if you are driving, if you have a gun, if you got a badge, if you are in a position where people's lives depend on you, no, you should not be smoking weed. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be intoxicated. I'm not sure why I have to explain this, but apparently this has to be explained to 29-year-old Trerica Burney, who was taken into custody just before 1:45 a.m. according to online jail records. She is suspected of possessing marijuana while on duty and has been charged with multiple drug counts as well as violating her oath of office. She has been booked into the Newton County Jail. Mind you, she was arrested just Wednesday. And Burney has been placed on administrative leave while the Rockdale Sheriff's Office investigates the incident. So she's supposed to be on duty, protecting the public like Blue Lives Matter claims that cops do. And she's out here smoking that ganja, lighting it up, baby. You know, listen, sister, I have no issue with you consuming cannabis. Trust me, if you knew how much I consume, I would have no issue with that. But the issue that I have is you consuming it while you are on duty. See, you have a gun on you. You have a car on you. You have a taser on you. You could have a dog on you. You could have all kinds of weaponry on you, even military weaponry. This is why you have to not be intoxicated while you are on duty. And I guarantee you some Blue Lives Matter bootlicker out there is watching this video. And they're saying, well, they're human too. Yeah, you're right, they're human. And when they get intoxicated and get behind the wheel of a damn car, they kill other humans. Do you get how that works now? So I don't suspect anyone's going to cape up for this woman. Oh, who am I? Who am I kidding? Of course they are. Because Blue Lives Matter just loves the cop peen. Another story done. It just gets comical at this some point. I'm gonna sip my tea again. Now, we're gonna get into some more stories, and these get more and more ridiculous as they go along. Now, there's one that I want to cover because it comes from my home state of South Carolina. And I love covering these stories. These stories make me happy. These stories bring me joy. They bring me joy. Man, it's a good tea. So, let's get into the story here. This story comes from my home state of South Carolina. So, South Kakalaki, your cops and your corrections officers are about to get a new one because guess what? I don't like you, and goodness gracious, I know you don't like me. A former South Carolina corrections officer has been arrested and charged with having sex on duty with an inmate. Talk about desperate, boy. I tell you, if you ever get so desperate where you smashing inmates, that lets me know that your outside sex life must be horrific. But the thing is, though, she's not the prettiest, but she's not ugly either. I don't get why she has to smash an inmate. You are a woman, baby. If you go outside right now and you shout, "I'm horny," guess what? Every dude within a 2-mile radius is gonna be at your. Guess what? Every dude within a 2-mile radius will be in your face. I guarantee it. So the fact that she got arrested for doing this, I have no sympathy whatsoever. A South Carolina corrections officer who was arrested and charged with having sex with an inmate, according to the South Carolina Department of Corrections, or SCDC. And I know all about SCDC and their scumbag asses. 27-year-old Kaylee Scholler was arrested on Monday and charged with first-degree sexual misconduct. SCDC says she had relations with an inmate between January and July of 2021. And here is it. And below is an official release about the arrest. And what this release actually details is that, and what this release shows is that she was also fired after she was arrested. And attached to this actual release is the copy of the arrest warrant. And attached to this release is a copy of the affidavit. And also the arrest warrant. So once again, I love it that my home state of South Carolina is just doing me proud and showing people why I started my channel based on the bad cop behavior from that state. Because I can't go a single week without talking about my home state of South Carolina, despite the fact that that state only has 5.1 million people in it, meaning that it's one of the lowest populated states out there, and yet they have so many shitty cops in that state. Mathematically, that is goddamn ridiculous. What's going on, E2? E2 says, this is what I see first thing when I join. Absolutely. I love it, man. Listen. E2, man. You got to check me out. I started my channel based on the bad shit that cops in South Carolina was doing. And now that you've been subscribed to me for a little minute, you've been following my work, you see what I mean now. I'm not just saying this shit. Bro, I've been at this shit for years now. This is like I've been screaming it. These cops ain't shit. They mama ain't shit. They daddy ain't shit. The babies ain't shit. The dog ain't shit. The fucking cat too. Especially the goddamn shady ass goddamn cat. That everything a cop touches ain't shit. And if that's not the case, then why the fuck am I not running out of goddamn content? Today's the goddamn 12th. This shit was reported on the goddamn 11th. That was yesterday. I'm not digging hard, am I? I'm not even digging goddamn hard. I'm not even looking fucking hard. They are throwing the goddamn stories at me. I'm not even looking hard. To be honest with you, my content is easy as shit. Because they make it easy. That's how you know my channel is worth it. When your enemies make your job easier. God damn. That's a hell of a goddamn concept, huh? Hell of a concept. This next story is going to piss you off here. This next story is gonna piss you off. I guarantee you. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. So, we're gonna get to the story here. Let's get to the story here. All right. This story comes from. Wow. Give me a second, guys. This is really fucked up. Give me a second. Let me just mentally prepare myself for this, because this is it's animal cruelty, and it's brutal. So I want to do a little looking into this before I get on this one. Oh man, this is gonna be rough, man. All right, guys, this is gonna be a rough one. I'm gonna just warn you, it's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be a real rough one. So get ready for this. E2 says it's easy because there's always a stream of content coming in. Yeah. Let's get into it. This story comes from Louisiana, and it comes from WBRZ.com. Zachary police officer arrested after dead dogs found in his trailer. A Zachary police officer was arrested this week over allegations of animal cruelty. Officer Ashton Blunt was issued a felony summons for animal cruelty, but was not booked into jail. Animal control workers reportedly found the decomposing bodies of 2 dogs inside of a trailer where the officer once lived. The mobile home was located in Slaughter, and investigators believe the animals may have been left there as far back as July. Officials said the home was found in complete disarray and that it appeared the dogs had tried to escape the trailer before they ultimately died. Blunt is on administrative leave pending the investigation. I am not going to show pictures of these dogs. I'm going to let you know. I was told about this story and I was showed a picture, and I'm not showing that in the video, but I'm going to say it was horrific. It was disgusting. It was heartbreaking. And I hope this man spends the rest of his life behind bars, even though I know for this kind of charge, he'll probably, he won't do major time for it, but he definitely should. And I guarantee you that if he's not placed into protective custody once he gets behind bars and those inmates hear about what he did, he's going to have a very, very bad day, and he will deserve every fucking bit of it. I really, really love dogs, and I hate people who abuse animals. I really, really love dogs, and I really, really hate people who abuse animals, and I can't stress that enough. This guy needs to go to prison for a very long time, and he needs to suffer, because people who do this kind of things to dogs and neglect those animals like that, they deserve the worst. I mean, once again, the dogs tried to escape the trailer, meaning they were trying to claw out of their trailer for their lives, and he left them there. Fuck this guy and fuck this story, man. It's just horrific. I can't believe someone can be that cruel to a living thing. Especially to dogs who love us so much. Just a sad story, man. That's sad, man. Damn. They tried to damn claw out, man. Fuck that guy, yo. Hey, sweetie. Can you do me a favor? Can I get some more tea? Can you, heat it up for me? Yeah. And don't worry, guys. I do make food for her, so she doesn't mind doing it.
He pays the rent.
Oh. Well. I pay the rent, yeah. And food and dishes. Okay, baby. Damn. I love you too. Damn. All right, so we're gonna move on to some more stories here. This one is Not as hardcore, but we are going to get into it because a bad cop was arrested, and we're going to hold cops to the same standard that they hold us to, right? So we're going to do that. Usually, I don't like when you hold people to certain standards for prostitution, but cops arrest people all the time. So therefore, if they're going to do that, then I have no problem with holding them to the same standard. Let's get into it. This story comes from Texas. So a Brewster County school resource officer has been arrested on the solicitation of prostitution. This story comes from Texas. A Brewster County school resource officer has been arrested for soliciting prostitutes. Philip Workman was arrested on October the 7th and has been let out on bond. So this was published on October the 12th, which is the same date of the recording of this video. And let's get into it. So Mr. Workman has been on administrative suspension without pay after his arrest for soliciting a prostitute on October the 7th. Philip Workman is the name of the officer involved, according to the Brewster County Sheriff's Office. Since the arrest, Workman has been let out on bond. There will be a final decision made once the proper procedures have been included. That investigation is still ongoing, and here's the picture of his mugshot. Now, I'm going to go in and be clear. I don't have a problem with sex workers. I think that prostitution should be legal without question. However, the reason why I do these stories, and let me just be clear, because many people who watch my content happen to be on the left and believe prostitution should be legal, and I'm totally with you. I'm 100% libertarian on that issue. Trust me, I want women and men of consenting adult ages to be able to sell whatever they have, even if it's their own body, because guess what? It's your body. It's your right. I don't think that the government should be able to tell you what you should be able to do with your own body. However, I will say this. If a police officer is going to hold people to one standard, guess what? I will hold you to the same goddamn standard, because that's called being fair. That's called calling it down the middle. That's called holding the exact same consistent standards. That way you don't create a serf class. That's the only way you create a serf class, is if you start treating people differently than other people because of a badge or a position or a title. Well, he's a freaking police officer. He's a man just like me. Why is he being held to a lower standard than me when he has more fucking responsibility and also a damn gun and a damn badge, a police dog, military gear and equipment at all times? But I'm held to a higher goddamn standard. See, that's what we got fucked up in this goddamn country. These goddamn boot-licking scum out there who will say, well, why are you reporting on this story? You reporting on every single arrest. You're damn right. You want to know why? Because sheriff's officers and freaking police have no problem putting your mugshot on the fucking goddamn internet. So I'm going to give them the exact same fucking treatment. Because that's what pigs deserve. Oink, fucking oink, bitch. Sorry, y'all. I kind of went off there. E2 says, for some reason, there's a different thought process with cops. When you say cops are bad people, say not all cops are bad. Put that in a different industry. Not all pilots are bad. There's only a few bads. Well, here's the thing, right? The reason why I have no problem saying all cops are bastards, because if I were to say that all lawyers are greedy bastards, if I were to say that outside of this conversation, you wouldn't even argue. If I were to say that most politicians are dishonest, you wouldn't even argue. If I were to say that Comcast customer service is shitty, no matter who the fuck you got them talk to, you wouldn't argue. If I were to say the DMV workers, for the most part, right? They don't believe in damn convenience. They don't believe in moving fast whatsoever. They don't give a shit about your damn day or your damn time. You wouldn't even argue. But suddenly when it comes to cops, that's the only time, and I'm being completely objective and honest here. That is the only time in my life in which I had to say hashtag not all. You can stereotype soldiers, right? With fucking PTSD. You can stereotype Marines being damn dumb. You can stereotype sailors in the fucking Navy as being all gay. You can stereotype Air Force as being lazy or Coast Guard as being goddamn useless. But not cops. Why is that? Why can you generalize a fucking Marine but not a goddamn cop? Or a goddamn sailor but not a goddamn cop? Think about that shit for a second. Think about that shit for a second. E2 says there were a few officers who put private mugshots online and they ransacked people out of money to get them taken down. Wow. That's wild. That's wild, man. So we're gonna get into some more stories here, man. I got so many stories here to cover. It's unbelievable the amount of stories I got to cover here. So we're gonna cover this one. This story is fucking ridiculous. So let's get into the story here. E2 says, I think they got jail time, but I think they got they got out. Of course they did, because they're freaking pigs. Always. Let's get into the story here. So this story comes from Georgia. It comes from Covington, Georgia. And so this story comes from Monroe, Georgia. And it's a very interesting story that I don't think many media outlets are going to talk about. So I will talk about it. A former Newton deputy and a political candidate has been charged with assault. Wesley Jackson, a former Newton County Sheriff's deputy and a candidate for Walton County Board of Commissioners in 2020, was arrested last month on a felony charge of aggravated assault. So he was booked into the Walton County Jail on September the 22nd. And the incident occurred on September the 21st, where cops were called out to his home. Now, let's get into the actual incident, though. That complaint, which is from a female resident of the home up to 911, mentioned an incident that allegedly occurred between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. on September the 18th. So basically what they go into is what is the standard for aggravated assault. And they didn't really give a whole lot of detail into what he actually did. But if it fits aggravated assault, then it's pretty serious. And he might go away for a good little minute. And so Jackson has spent 8 years as a deputy. And he also ran in the Republican primary, which is probably why you don't see Donut Operator or Brennan Tatum or Anthony Bryan Logan or Candace Owens talking about this case, for the Board of Commissioners in 2020. So you have a Republican who was a former cop, a pig, who's out here beating up women. That sounds very familiar. It sounds like a very, very consistent pattern. And once again, I guarantee you I'm going to get more shit for talking about this story than the very cop, the freaking pig, the freaking politician, the person who ran for goddamn office. I will get more shit than that person will for what he did, which is very, very. I gotta just say, it's comical at this point. It's expected, but it's fucking comical, and that's sad. That's really sad. Once again, you see the dates of these stories, October 12th? Today's October 12th. These are not old stories. Yeah, I might cover stories like maybe 4 or 5 days old. But even then, that's not old. Even then, that's not old. That's fresh. I don't cover old shit. Right? I don't cover old shit. That's just not what I do. That's not what I do. That's not my MO, man. I don't cover old shit. Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. That's not me. So, this one is an older story. This is from September the 22nd. And I want to cover this one here, right? Because this man was hitting parked cars. Oh Lord, no. This chick, I'm sorry, I forgot. She's a chick. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh man, this is great. Oh my God, this is great. This is great. This is great. Oh man. Oh man. I want to pull it from here though. This one seems a lot better right here. Oh my God. This is wild, man. All right, this one's wild. So this wild story comes from Kentucky. A Davis County Sheriff's Office deputy has been accused of driving company car while under the influence. So this woman was hitting parked cars. I kid you not. And you might think I'm being hyperbolic when I say that, but I'm not being hyperbolic, because here's an additional news headline from the OwensboroTimes.com. DCSO deputy sheriff arrested for allegedly driving under the influence, hitting parked cars. So 49-year-old Deborah Crandall was arrested and charged with operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol/substance. And the incident occurred at approximately 8:30 a.m. when police were called out because there were reports of someone driving erratically and striking multiple parked vehicles. Now, that means that this woman was hitting parked cars. That's how you know you are messed up, baby. When you smashing parked cars. Oh, Lord. So we got to go back over to 14news.com to get a little bit more detail. In the actual police report, it says that Crandall could barely keep her eyes open, had slurred speech, and couldn't keep her balance. And could not keep her balance. I had to actually redo that, right? So I edited out these actual parts for the actual live video so that I give you guys a more polished video finished. Now it also says here that Crandall claimed that she took Ambien the night before, which she is prescribed. And that's what she told the police to explain her slurred speech and the fact that she couldn't keep her eyes open and the fact that she appeared drunk. I don't know about you, but taking Ambien a night before probably isn't going to make you have slurred speech, struggle to keep your eyes open, and keep your balance a whole night after the following morning. And if you know that, then why would you get behind the wheel of a car when you are a police officer? If you can't control that, then maybe you shouldn't have a badge in the first place, right? I mean, it just seems to make perfect sense to me, but maybe it makes sense to somebody out there, or a bootlicker, or a Blue Lives Matter type. And the cops say that she failed multiple field sobriety tests, and a portable test detected alcohol. She was then taken to a hospital for a blood test and then to jail. The Owensboro police confirmed that Crandall was driving a DCSO vehicle at the time. And it also turns out that she's the supervisor of the court security at the Judicial Center. So she is court security. And now, so that means she is head of court security in the jailhouse where she has to be prosecuted. This story is all kinds of precious. Listen, E2, listen. How do you hit a parked car? I don't know, but that story has so many fucking layers. You are the supervisor of the jailhouse fucking deputies there, right? So you got to get prosecuted by the same deputies. Wait, I got to add that part in. Holy shit. And that also means that you are the same supervisor who's got to be prosecuted in front of your own deputies that you trained. That's fucking wild. Guys, I'm going to end the show on that note. I can't take it anymore. Listen. I can't listen. I have my sanity, man. All right, guys, listen. I love you all. Thank you for joining me, but I have my sanity. What more do you want me to say with that? What more? Guys, I love you all. Be safe. Wear a mask. Don't get COVID. Horns up. Peace out. Good night and good fucking luck, because pigs are just out of goddamn control.